What's up, you guys? Happy Sunday evening to everyone. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. How are you guys doing this evening? So listen, we are here for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16, episode 4. I think we are. Yeah, episode 4. First of all, the Whether You Like It or Not panel will be right here tomorrow at 8:30-ish. Notice I said ish, so don't come in here with no mess. I said ish, okay? Y'all come on in. Quake said she fell asleep during the last part. Well, honey, I'm sure we're going to see that last part clipped up over the next 3 or 4 months, child. So, let me say this. I've said this before, and I will continue to say it. Now that I have seen how this season is unfolding, although I still think if what is being reported by Kenya is accurate, then I still think Kenya went too far, but I 100% understand. 100%. We're going to get into it. So let's start at the beginning of this episode. We have Britt and Angela meeting down at the park for a fake workout. I say a fake workout for a couple of reasons. First of all, is it me or did that bridge look like the same bridge that Porsha was fake running on at the beginning of this season when she was giving her voiceover of her life and her coming back to the Housewives? Is it me? Or was that looked like the same place? I mean, there's a million parks in Atlanta, so it probably wasn't. It just looked like it. Anyway. What's up with Drinks with D? D said this episode got them pissed off. Ooh, okay. Second of all, it was a fake workout because how you show up to work out and you got your doggy in a damn stroller. Now, if she put the dog on a leash and said, the dog is gonna run with me and I got some water for the baby and all of that, but baby, you got the dog in a whole stroller. Y'all ain't show up to work out. Y'all showed up to film this scene and y'all ain't even pretending. See, this is what I mean when I say reality TV just ain't reality TV like it used to be. This is what I mean by production and things of that nature. Baby, if you're going to give us a scene of y'all working out, at least pretend like y'all really about to work out. Even if y'all don't do nothing. Like 2 weeks ago when they was at the gym, I don't know if they did anything more than them 3 or 4 exercises that they showed us in that little clip together. But it looked like they really had a workout before they sat down to talk. Now, we know the whole purpose of them coming together was for them to have this whole scene. But at least if you say y'all getting to working out, can you at least pretend like y'all working out? So the ladies get to talking about family relationships. Angela says how things are going, she's got some issues going on with her family right now. She said, it's probably not a good idea, to go to your family to complain about things. Because then, once you include your family in your marriage, then they have an opinion. You know what, Angela, if you don't say nothing else, I agree with the rest of this season, baby. You said a word. You have to be careful about bringing your family into your marriage when you mad. Because here's the thing. You gonna make up with your significant other. 9 times out of 10, it's just a fight. People fight, couples fight. You gonna make up. But now I'm stuck with what you told me. You might get over it, but now I'm stuck with it. So she said that now Charles and her mom got into this big argument, and they did apologize, but Charles feels like the mom kind of came at him again yesterday about cleaning up the house or something. And I'm thinking, that's what y'all arguing about? So I feel like the reason why she said they was arguing might not be accurate because I just can't see y'all arguing over cleaning up the house. Like, y'all don't have nobody to come in and take care of that. Y'all don't have nobody. Y'all got 20 kids in that house. They don't have chores. Like, I just feel like that shouldn't be what y'all fighting about to the point where your mama had to get involved. But I do feel like there was probably some other stuff you told your mama, and now she's side-eyeing Charles, and Charles is probably acting a fool, okay? What's up, Katrina? No, what is this? Maybe this is the same lip gloss I've been wearing for the last week or so. This is Cultured. Juvia's Place from their Berries collection. I think this is Cultured. I need to order me some new lipstick. I threw away 2 or 3 lipsticks last week. I need to order me some. Anyway, then Britt comes in and Britt starts talking about how her and her sisters are estranged. Now, Britt, girl, if you're going to tell us a lie, I need you to keep that lie together. Okay, if you're going to tell us a lie, I need you to keep that lie together. Now, last week, you told us that the reason why you and your sisters are beefing is because of the business, because of everything that went on with the business. Y'all got this business together. The one sister left because she felt like you was trying to, because you sold the business. The other sister left because she felt like you was trying to micromanage and boss her around. Now, you and your sisters are not getting along because of your marriage, because of your relationship. Girl, I'm going to need you to keep it together. And I know some people might be like, well, two things can be true. You're right. Two things can be true at the same time. But if you're going to give us a storyline, give us that storyline. Don't give us 3 or 4 versions of it. You got to give us the storyline and let that be it. Okay. Angela was right about that bit of advice. Do you think that's why Charles and her mom were arguing? I think it was the outside. I think that the mama, that she's told the mama about Charles's wandering eye. And I think Charles did or said something that might have been disrespectful or may have alluded to, might have said something smart. Maybe they went out to eat and he was looking a little too long at the waitress or something. It don't take much. It doesn't take much when you already feel like your wife, sister, whatever is being done wrong, then it don't take much. You know what I'm saying? So I think they were arguing about him cleaning up the house? No, not at all. Absolutely. I don't think that's what it was. But I do think it's probably something they've dealt with in the past, that whatever happened that day, the mama was like, Charles might have did something or said something that the mama was like, for real though? That's what I think happened. That's just my 2 cents. So thank you, everybody. Thank you. And it's probably too the lighting because it's dark outside and, it's probably a combination. But thank you. So then we go over to Shamia's house, honey. And Shamia is chilling in that big old backyard. Her sister comes over and we found out that Shamia is working on new music. Now, the single already dropped. And the song, I do like the song. So she was just talking about her going in the studio. And she's working with RL. Drew, see, one of the other producers that's in Atlanta. Moving right along. And we also found out that Shamia has actually tried to get into music multiple times. It just didn't hit for her. She was in a couple of groups that just didn't really work out. One of the groups was with Carrie Hilson. Hold on, y'all. This damn microphone. Hold on. I'll keep talking while I'm doing this, though. It's something she's been trying to do. So she and here's the thing, Shamia, this was a smart thing for you to do. You're about to be on this platform. You're about to have this sort of access. You're about to have access to millions and millions and millions of people listening that potentially would download your music. See, this is what you do when you are on a platform. The purpose of being on a reality like the Real Housewives, like that is a smart thing to do, right? So she's already dropped the single and now we see her talking about it on the show. We heard it on the show. So even if you didn't catch the single, now it might make you be like, oh, let me go get that. I like it because I do like the song, y'all. The song is all right. But that is what they're supposed to do when they come on these shows, right? But you already need to have something ready. And I know everybody's money ain't the same. I know Shamia has the resources, and I understand everybody's money ain't the same. But baby, beg, borrow, and steal, because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to have something ready for the people to be when they're ready to buy it. You know what I'm saying? Neither here nor there, child. We don't need to go down the long list of people who dropped the ball. She by Sheree being at the top of that list. I think she by Sheree now I haven't looked at every single Housewives franchise, but out of the Housewives franchise I have watched, I'm gonna say She by Sheree is probably the biggest missed opportunity for a variety of reasons. One, because she had the opportunity multiple times, but two, Sheree actually does have fashion sense. Like, people do actually like her fashion style. It's not like she's somebody that can't dress and that people don't like. People actually like her fashion style. So anyway, moving right along. we don't need to dwell on that, child. We all know the summer spring jogger fiasco. Moving right along. So then Shamia was out there talking to her sister. And why were they outside while the grass was being cut? That is production. Hey, production. That was a rookie move. Production, that was a rookie move. And here's what I mean by that. That, and no disrespect to my Chasing Reality team, to my Chasing Reality family. But baby, that grass being cut is some first season, where reality series production flop. Shamia got that estate. Okay. She don't even just have a house with 2 or 3 bedrooms. Shamia has a full-blown estate. And I get it. Y'all probably had set the cameras up. Y'all probably had everything set up. Shamia had her little Gucci bikini on. I get it that y'all was ready for this outdoor moment. But y'all had 5,000 other rooms that y'all could have filmed that scene in. When that people was cutting that grass and it didn't seem like they was going to stop, y'all go in the house with that mic pack and a camera and get this moment, okay? Because at the end of the day, I couldn't even get into the scene. I couldn't even get into the scene because you got voiceovers, you got the people cutting the grass. Like it just made it took away from the moment. And it would be different if they were at a park and they didn't have an option. And production should have been like, okay, y'all stop. This ain't working. People do it all the time. I mean, you can't control the people over there cutting grass. I get that. And maybe you thought they were almost done and they kept going and kept going and kept going. They should have filmed that whole scene over. Even if they just waited for the grass to finish being cut and they just shot the scene over outside. They should have shot that whole scene over. It was just amateur hour. It was ridiculous. It was amateur hour, but neither here nor there. We also found out that Angela is having a party at a place called The Bank where she has invited everybody. And so Shamia was like, wow, I do feel bad that I came after her the way I did. But can I say, Shamia, baby, when I say Shamia had me cutting up when her whole confessional was Michael Jackson songs, that was good, Shamia. Baby, that was good. Shamia, that was good. And then even after that, at the end when she did her confessional, when she was on her way to the party talking about I'm surprised she even invited me. I told her to beat it. I said, Shamia, you funny. That was good. Shamia, that was good. Okay. That was good. Okay. It was the house next door. That's why I'm saying you couldn't control that because it was the house next door, which is why all the more reason, go inside. Again, this woman has an estate. There are a million places that she could film, or wait 30 minutes. Wait 30 minutes for them to finish cutting the grass. All right. But anyway, so the next scene we see Porsha meeting with her team, with her Go Naked and her Pampered team. So can I say something? First of all, this was a great scene for Porsha because she had product placement. I love the way the cameras got like the flat irons and the different packaging. This was a great, going back to taking advantage of the opportunity, going back to maximizing your opportunity. I think this was a great, great moment and a great scene. That's number one. Number two, I think this was probably one of the realest scenes Porsha has given us this season. As far as, look, the soft life is over. Cinderella, the ball, the ball is over. It is midnight and Cinderella got to get back to work. I think this was a real moment. I mean, it was still very produced. Don't get me wrong, but excuse me. But this was the realest that Porsha has been about her current situation. Like, look, I kind of let the business go by the wayside. I really wasn't paying attention to the day-to-day. I was kind of just letting maybe Lauren and other people run things. But baby, this is my bread and butter now, and I need to come back over here and I need to be serious about it. And now that I'm back and I'm serious, now we got to figure out where we want to go next, right? How we want to branch out. We're going to bring in some new product. We're going to, I thought that was a real moment, right? I really did, y'all. And y'all know I ain't giving Porsha a whole lot this season because I feel like Porsha got a lot of going on with her. But on this one, I honestly have to be like, I really feel like Porsha gave us some real in this moment. However, then we turn around and have this moment with, I guess it's a guy on her team that does music. And he was like, why did Drew reach out to me or Dennis reach out to me about doing music with Drew and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, I thought we were over this. We still talking about this? I thought we were done with this. So she starts talking about how, then she talked about Drew being an ambassador and how Drew hasn't done all the things she's supposed to do as an ambassador and how, she can't fire her yet. But can we talk about how production was shady as hell when she started talking about, we have attorneys, we have an HR department, we have this, we have that. And every time she said something, they put Porsha. Like, girl, you are the HR. You are all of it, right? It did even her team was like, do we have the number to the attorney? She was like, you got my number. So I mean, it was a fun moment, but it was also like, girl, stop playing. Like, Drew tried to have a photo shoot. Drew tried to do a go naked photo shoot. You ain't want her to. And I know some people was siding with Porsha on that whole photo shoot situation. Me personally, I was like, I'm gonna use Black Girl Vitamins for an example. I have a discount code with Black Girl Vitamins, right? I post on social media. I post on TikTok. I advertise here on YouTube, right? At no point in time has anybody from Black Girl Vitamins said to me, we need to approve everything you do as it relates to our discount code. They've just never done that. Now, I'm sure if it comes to their attention that I'm doing something or saying something that is outside of what they're comfortable with, yeah, they'll probably take away my code and that'll be that. But I did not understand Porsha being pissed off because Drew wanted to do a photo shoot featuring Go Naked hair when she's an ambassador for Go Naked, only because it's for the show. If it were any other, because the whole purpose of her being an ambassador is to advertise the hair. So she's doing a photo shoot with the hair on, and it's going to be filmed for the show. What's the difference between her doing that and her getting a professional hair and makeup team to take pictures of her in the Go Naked hair and her posting it on her social media? There is no difference. The only difference is Porsha didn't want her doing anything without it going through her. That is it, and that is all. And I know some people were like, it's her company and she should have to go. But I'm telling you, that is not necessarily how it works when you're an ambassador. Like, people who are Fashion Nova partners and stuff like that, they don't get all those pictures approved before they put them on social media. The whole point is you buy the products or you get them at a discount or you get them for free. You wear them on your social media, and hopefully, because you have 10 million subscribers or 10,000 subscribers or whatever the number is, people will say, oh my gosh, I love that outfit. Oh, she got it from Fashion Nova. FashionNova.com. Let me get it. So I think that people were siding with Porsha because I don't think they really understand how an ambassador type situation works. Like, it's not like she is an employee of a company. She probably get discount on the hair. You know what I'm saying? And maybe she gets a percentage off of everything that is sold with her discount code. You know what I mean? Like she might get that, but she's not an employee of no company. Being obtuse, but how could she have known it was her hair? Only reason, but that's a good question. Work in progress, that's a good question. The only thing I can think of is production told Porsha. You know what I'm saying? Because so this is the way it worked. And I know some of y'all know this, but the people who already know, just bear with me for a second. Before the season starts, they have to give, what is it that you're going to be featuring this season? Basically, what is your storyline going to be? And what is it that you want to film? And you submit scenes to production. So she probably had to submit that to production and say, oh, well, I want to do a photo shoot with Go Naked Hair because I'm an ambassador for Go Naked. And somebody told Porsha. I mean, that's probably what happened. Somebody told Porsha, girl, she's trying to do a Go Naked photo shoot. And Porsha just threw that in. Let's be clear. Porsha is really just mad about the whole dinner situation. The Go Naked photo shoot was something she threw in. You know what I mean? She threw that in. But yeah, that's how production knows what they're going to film. That's how they get the crews together. And that's how they set up the scenes. So a lot of these things these women do, and for all of the reality shows, and a lot of it doesn't make it. You hear them say all the time, well, I filmed this, but it didn't, they didn't show it. Or I filmed that, but they didn't show it. That's why so much stuff gets filmed, and then they figure out what they're going to take out, what is congruent to the storyline, what is the more interesting scenes. I mean, let's be honest, the scene might not have even made it in the damn show, because who the hell cares about Drew wearing a damn wig? I mean, unless Dennis showed up or Porsha showed, you know what I mean? Now, to be honest, what they should have done was have Porsha show up and Porsha be, the curator of the photo shoot or the creative director. That would have been cute, right? And it would have been a 2-for-1. It would have been a 2-for-1. It would have been a, we're going to advertise this hair and we're going to get both of these women in a scene together. That actually would have been a good idea. But Porsha got in her feelings and whatever. Neither here nor there. So, but yeah, I thought that was a cute scene up until that part. That last part they could have kept. But I do think most of it was a cute scene. That's what I thought about ambassadors too. I remember DVF had a show searching for ambassadors for her fashion line. And one of the criteria was each candidate had to have a certain number. So, right. Diane von Frostenberg. Yeah, that's part of what it is. Like they ask you what your following is on social media, how many subscribers you have, Because again, it doesn't do me any good to make you an ambassador and you got 20 subscribers. And that's no shade. But if the purpose is to advertise my product and nobody's here to hear it, you know what I'm saying? People only had a problem with the whole photo shoot thing because they don't like Drew. I agree with you on that one, Nitwit. So next we have a scene with Ralph and Drew. And I'm going to be honest, this was painful to watch. Not painful to watch because I felt really bad about, oh, they're going through this divorce. No, painful to watch because both of them. Drew, girl, we be trying with you. We really be trying to work with you. You called that man a narcissist, and production was like, well, what about him makes him a narcissist? And girl, you had to Google it. And then Ralph was like, I'm not a narcissist. And because Ralph does know the definition of the word narcissist, he did something that a narcissist wouldn't do, even though it was out of place and nobody gives a damn. You apologizing to Drew about something in y'all's marriage after everything y'all done been through and y'all been in this divorce for a year was very disingenuous. And you only did it because, one of the markers of a narcissist is that they can't apologize, because you literally said it. See, a narcissist wouldn't apologize. See, I apologize. So please go sit down somewhere. Then they were talking about the kids. And it was just a painful scene because, again, and then she said that the judge told them not to tell the kids about the divorce. I don't understand that. I'm not one of those people that I feel like you give your kids what they can handle, but I also feel like something this obvious, a conversation needs to be had. Like, daddy is literally living in the basement, and mommy's not allowed to go in the basement, and daddy's not allowed to come upstairs. And when we want to see daddy, we have to ask if we can come downstairs. And then we're every other weekend. Like, something in that just doesn't make sense to me. I'm not going to say it ain't true, even though I kind of think it ain't true. I kind of don't think that's what the judge said. I think the judge might have said, limit your conversation with the kids about the divorce. I don't think the judge told y'all not to tell the kids at all, because it's weird. Like, again, but I do think there's kids don't need to know everything, but I think kids should know enough to understand what's going on in their world. Like, they live in that house too. So yeah, I just don't believe the judge said, don't tell the kids. I believe the judge said, limit your conversation with the kids about the divorce. Limit, don't talk bad about the other party. Like, I can believe the judge said things like that. But anyway. Right. Yeah, little baby. I don't believe the judge said that. But anyway, so again, that was just a painful scene to watch. They could have kept that to themselves. Like, I would much rather just Ralph be in the basement. And then they had Ralph did like a whole MTV Cribs like parody. Again, I have to side eye production on this one. I just have to side eye production on this one. Now, this next scene, just like I feel like that scene with Porsha was probably one of the realest scenes we've seen of Porsha this season, I think this next scene was probably one of the more vulnerable scenes we've seen of Kenya. Kenya invited Kelly to the salon. And they're having a conversation. And Porsha is like, I wanted you to come down, and I thought Ralph and Drew scene was good. Well, tell me what you thought was good about it, J12, because it ain't do nothing for me. But maybe I'm missing something, boo, because maybe I'm missing something. Baby Kelly is walking around with security, okay? And she's telling Kenya, yeah, I have security because, my ex-husband is crazy. And, well, she didn't say crazy, I did. And I have a restraining order, and there was abuse. And I thought it was really weird because Kenya then said, well, do you have proof of that? I thought that was really weird because for a minute, I thought Kenya was getting ready to go down the road of, well, girl, how do we know? Well, girl, how do you, like, I thought she was getting ready, but that's not where she went. So that question was really weird. So I almost feel like it was taken out of context. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, because it was just weird, but then it didn't go with the rest of the conversation. So she went on to let the people know that her husband literally threatened her in open court. So she does have security and she said the kids aren't even allowed to see the husband right now because of everything they have going on. Kenya then is talking about the salon. And Kenya said something that I thought was so real in that moment. Kenya said to Kelly, she was asking her about the business and things like that. And then Kenya says to Kelly, how do you get the people to come? Now, for those of you who don't know, Kenya's salon was actually open. I don't know if it's open now, but at one point in time, it was actually taking appointments and it was actually open. But people were reporting that it was empty. There were different things that were reported about why it was empty, different reasons about why it was empty. But that said to me that maybe there was some legitimacy to the reports that Kenya couldn't get people to come to the salon. Because she said, how do you get people to come? And then Kenya talked about how she was $400,000 in the hole by doing this whole salon. And she's worried because she said she done spent Brooklyn's, college fund and everything. And I loved Kelly in this moment because Kelly was like, girl, they're going to come. We got you. This is going to be a success. Like, I loved how Kelly was there for her. I really loved that. I did. But I'm going to go back to what I was told about things going on with Kenya's salon. So the first thing was y'all know I ain't never built no salon and I'm not in cosmetology. But here's what I do know. I do know that Black women spend money on their hair. That's what I do know. I do know that Black women spend money on their hair. Okay, that's number one. Number two, a couple of things that I heard. One of the things that I heard was her prices were really high. And I understand you're trying to get a certain clientele, so I get it if your prices are at a certain price point. Number two, they said that the neighborhood where it was didn't match the price point that she was asking for. I'm just telling you what the people told me. Number three, they did have a deposit, where you had to make a deposit. And she said part of the reason was because people were making appointments just to say, oh, I'm going to the Kenya salon. And they weren't really serious about getting services. So I can see people doing that too. So I'm wondering a couple of things. And again, I'm not in cosmetology, but I'm wondering a couple of things. If you wanted to charge a certain price point, did you actively recruit high-end hairdressers? Like, did you actively recruit people who do the who's who in Atlanta? There's a lot of people in Atlanta. There's a lot of, you have studios and you have a lot of people, you got reality shows and TV shows filming. You got a lot of people there who are not on the level of here, but they getting there, and maybe they, you know what I'm saying? What I mean is you might have people who, let's say they're on a Tyler Perry show, right? But they're not a main cast on Tyler Perry show. You see what I'm saying? So they might have a stylist that they go to. Did you actively recruit those people that can charge those prices because they already have a clientele that's going to pay those prices? Because the reality is, if you just went to the hair school and you recruited Sally Sue, LaQuisha from the hair school that just graduated, who doesn't have any clientele except for her mama, her cousin, and her aunties whose hair she's doing, if that is who you're bringing in, then no, they're not bringing their own clients with them. They're literally opening up shop and hoping that the name Kenya Moore is going to bring them some clients. Y'all know what I'm saying? So then my other question is, did you have to spend $400,000? Because here's the reality. Again, that could have been your next salon. Like, could you have spent half the money and still had a nice salon? Could you have spent $200,000 and still had a place that was aesthetically pleasing, that had the newest, the newest things going on in hair care, and still, because you know what I'm saying? And the last thing is, did you have somebody in there doing natural hair? Because I know that a lot of the reality show girlies are still wearing wigs and weaves and stuff like that. But a lot of people have especially Black women, not especially, but a lot of Black women have gone natural. A lot of Black women are getting natural hair done, getting locks, getting braids. Like, did you have a loctician? Did you have a braid person in there? Like, again, I don't know the answer to these questions, y'all. I'm just throwing stuff out. I don't know the answers. I'm throwing these things out. But I don't know if the salon is still open. I know it was open at one point in time, but I don't know how long it's open. I mean, I don't know if it's still open or not. And I started to Google before I came on the show, but I didn't even look to Google it. But I really did. I felt for Kenya in that moment because, again, I felt like she was being vulnerable and letting us know she was very, very scared. And I hate the fact that it does seem like the salon is not doing well, especially knowing what she put into it. And knowing that she's losing this paycheck. Because at the very least, she probably thought she could rely on this paycheck, and that's not there right now. So I really do feel, and I mean, I've never, I haven't always been a fan of Kenya and her shenanigans, but I really hate that she was, really trying to do something and branch out, and build on her hair care products. And it just doesn't seem to be doing well, especially in an industry that you shouldn't be failing in Black women hair care. I'm sorry. I just don't think. And I know that not all salons are successful. I know that. I mean, I know people who, I know that, but it just, I feel for her. I do. I really do. I will say I spend that much on my hair, but I get color and treatments. I'm not spending $400 for a silk press. Yeah, I mean, and my thing is this. I know there are people who spend a lot of money on hair. Like, I know wig installations, weave. Like, I know hair care is expensive. But again, I don't remember the prices, but I remember seeing the list and I remember thinking, wow, that's a little pricey, But I do know it was open at one point in time. I hope Kenya gets to come to the reunion. I don't know. I think the best we can hope for is that they talk to Kenya. Maybe they'll film with Kenya one-on-one. Maybe Andy will do a one-on-one with Kenya. I do not know if Kenya will be on the couch with the rest of the ladies. Maybe she will, but I do not. If I had to take a bet, I would say I don't think it's gonna happen. But you never know. A lot can happen between now and the end of the season, where people can, behind closed doors, resolve what needs to be resolved. You know what I'm saying? I tell you, this episode did not make Britt popular. No, listen. Like I said from the beginning, I still don't agree with what. If what they're saying Kenya did, she did. I still don't agree with what Kenya did, but I certainly understand why she did it. I 100% understand why she did it, if I'm being honest. When Kelly says she doesn't understand Britt's experience with Kenya, baby, that's because that experience is in her head. Right. Because Britt is still acting like every chance she gets to talk about Kenya, she talks about Kenya. Every chance she gets. Because even when she's having this moment with her sister, she found a way to bring Kenya into it. And I was like, girl, so that's the next scene. Britt is having dinner with her sister. Am I the only one that was confused by this whole scene? Baby, first of all, your sister shows up. First of all, last week, you told us that you and your sister not speaking because you wanted to sell the business and your sister wasn't in agreement. I don't understand why we sat through this whole dinner and at no point in time did y'all bring up that business, because you said that's the reason why you and your sister ain't cool. Then this episode, you said it's because of your husband, and that's what it is. So your sister shows up and she's late, and the first thing out your mouth is, oh, wow, well, you finally made it. And then she starts talking about the nephews, and she's like, you ain't seen them, and how long it's been since they've seen each other. And at the beginning of this conversation, it sounds like they have not seen each other in forever, right? But then we find out, she said, well, have you talked to mom? And the sister was like, And she was like, I got her blocked. So it sounds like the sister got some issues all the way around. Okay. So then they get to talking, and the sister starts talking about how basically she feel like anytime she want to spend some time with her sister, she got to deal with her sister's husband. And she was like, I get it that you married and I understand that. But when I want to do something like this, where me and you just sit down and it's just the two of us, I don't feel like I need to go through him. If I want to talk to you, he always there. She was like, but he's my husband. She was like, girl, when did y'all hear when she mimicked her? Baby, when your own sister mimicked you, then you know it ain't us. It ain't in our head. But it's one of those things where it's like, I'm listening. Okay, so I checked the website. It's down, but you can book on Style Seat. It's $95 for a baking silver. Okay, so it sounds like she came down on them prices. Okay, maybe somebody talked to her and was like, girl, I know what your dream and your vision is, but sometimes you got to start at Baltic Avenue before you can get the Park Place. That's a Monopoly analogy. If y'all don't know a Monopoly, y'all not going to get it. But sometimes you got to start at Baltic Avenue before you can get the Park Place. You can work your way there. So that whole dinner scene to me was a waste because first of all, I just felt like the shit was a lie. Because I mean, I feel like no. I do feel like your sister got beef with having to go through your husband to spend time with you. But now it's even more makes me feel like the business the whole business thing was some bullshit. Because why did that never come up? Why did that never come up at any point in time? The whole conversation was about you and your husband. So then she said, well, you know, when I'm going through something, if I'm feeling depressed or anxious or I'm dealing with some issues, I don't feel like I should have to go through your husband to have a conversation with my sister. So anyway, they end up at the end of the dinner, her phone is blowing up. And she was like, well, I know you don't want to hear this right now, but that is Mark calling me, telling me it's time for me to come home. And I'm like, girl, you couldn't put your phone on silent? Girl, your husband can't understand that you with your sister and y'all ain't seen each other in a while and this might take a couple of hours. Like, I feel like that last 2 minutes validated everything your sister said. I go out to dinner with my friends all the time that are married, and you know what their husbands don't ever do? Their husbands don't ever bother them. The only time their husbands might bother them is if it's like, okay, it's, you know, like not in a it's time to come home, but just, hey, I'm just checking on you. Y'all good? Did y'all have a little too much to drink? Do y'all need me to come pick y'all up? Like, we get them kind of phone calls, but talking about it's time for me to come home. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Moving right. Yeah, the sister had a nose job too, child. I saw that. I did peep that. I peeped that too, Corey. I peeped that too. Moving right along. So then we see Drew in the studio. I will say that I haven't listened to Drew's whole album. I know Scotty did a review on the whole thing. I haven't listened to the whole album yet, but I did like that little song. That sounded like it would be a nice little line dance. Now slide to the left. Now slide. It was something about sliding. I said I could hear that. I could see somebody making a nice line dance to that, and it getting, you know, some club play. You know, so I could see it. Is that song on there, CC Freak? That slide song? Because I was like, okay, I kind of like that. Like, I kind of like that, and I could definitely see that being a club song. You know what I'm saying? You know, like a line dance club song. I don't mean like a, you know, to the windows kind of club song. He's controlling, listening to her conversations, probably keeping her from family. Ooh, red flag, red flag. Oh, I thought you was tripping about those noses. No. You ain't see them noses? You listen to some of it? It's just too many people who look like they auditioning for Whoville on here. It is a lot. They do. It is a lot of fillers and all of that stuff. I heard Shavia's song one Sunday, Mimosa on Heart and Soul. Okay. I don't have XM anymore, Sirius XM, so I don't know any of the channels anymore. Yeah. They keep calling me to come back, child. I'm like, I'm good. Because I don't hardly listen to the radio anymore. Like, I very seldom listen to the radio. Now, when I had Sirius XM, I did enjoy it. I really did. I ain't gonna tell you no lies. I did enjoy it. But it got to the point where I just wasn't hardly using it. So when I got a new car, I just canceled my service. All the newbies' noses look the same, child. A mess. And actually, Sirius XM, actually, no, they pissed me off when the NFL wasn't free anymore. All the NFL games used to be free. And when they got it so that you had to pay extra for the NFL games, I didn't like it. And I really didn't like it because I was like, I should be grandfathered in. Like, I just felt like, because when they changed that policy, at that point, I had Sirius XM probably for about 6 or 7 years at that point. And I was like, so you mean to tell me that I've had this service all this time and it was never extra, and now it's extra and I don't get grandfathered in? I was like, I feel like that should be for new people. I feel like I should be grandfathered in. I shouldn't have to pay extra. Now, you can pay extra and you can get the games, but I just didn't feel like I should have to do that. But anyway, I've seen the preview for Married to Medicine. Anyway, so anyway, that was just this. And of course, they had to talk about Porsha. And Dennis act like he didn't know what the problem was. He didn't know what Porsha was mad about. And Drew was like, you told me Porsha was cool with it, but now Porsha acting like she not cool with it. And I was like, child, whatever. So the last scene we see, the ladies are getting ready. The ladies are getting ready for Angela's dinner, and of course they being shady about what side of town the dinner's in. Child, they being shady about what side of town, but the ladies are getting together. Shamia is like, she's nervous, about apologizing to Angela. Excuse me, I'm sorry, apologizing to Angela. And we see Porsha and Shamia having a FaceTime call. Remember, I told y'all that they ain't gonna film no more one-on-one scenes. So I guess the closest we're gonna come is seeing them doing this. We see Kelly and Britt. Now, Kelly said when she was meeting with Kenya that, her experience with Kenya is not Britt's experience with Kenya, and that she likes Kenya. So, you know what that's about to be a problem. So, and now I understand why some people were kind of defending Kenya as well. If after this scene, after this episode, again, moving right along. So everybody shows up. Now it's a black tie event, and everybody was told to wear black, and everybody showed up in black except for Kenya. Kenya, I don't for 1 minute believe that was by accident. I believe 100% you did that purposefully. One, because first you said you didn't pay attention. Girl, if Porsha could figure out the dress code, you could have. If Porsha can read well enough to comprehend the dress code, Kenya, I know you could have. Then you said, I don't have anything black, which tells me you did it on purpose. So Kenya was being Kenya and just being shady. Okay, moving right along. Really be hated when you don't follow the dress code. Honestly, here's the thing. I hate theme. Hate is a strong word. I don't like when there's like a color code for a theme party, right? But you have a choice of just not going. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't follow the theme, I just think that's rude. If somebody asks you to dress a certain way for their party and you choose to show up for their party but you don't follow the code, I just think that's rude. But anyway, everybody showed up looking cute in their little black or whatever. And like I said, here come Kenya in this turquoise dress. Yeah. So, Kenya goes around and greets everybody. And here go Britt, starting with Kenya from the beginning, because she said Kenya gave her a pat. Kenya didn't hug her. Kenya gave her a pat. Talking about some, see, here we go again, being shady. Here she goes, starting with that shade. And I'm thinking to myself, Kenya said, girl, I gave you the kind of pat. I gave you the kind of hug that I give you when I don't want my makeup to rub off. Like, and I'm like, what? It is so clear to me that you made a decision that you was going to come for Kenya. Now, I don't know whether production told you to do it or whether you thought you had to go for the big dog in order to, stake your claim or whatever. Like, I'm not sure why you chose to do this, but it is so clear to me that you have made a decision to come for Kenya. Because, girl, what are you talking about? Oh, that little pat on the back. Girl... Yeah, she's obsessed with her. Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if that came from production or if that was just her doing it herself. But she certainly made a decision she was coming for Kenya. I thought that it was really sweet that Shamia showed up with an olive branch. Now, Shamia, I feel like you could have, putting it in an olive oil bottle, I guess, was very literal. I don't know. But I appreciate that you did show up with an apology, and you were like, look, I want us to just start over. Can we just clean the slate? I really hate that I came after your physical appearance. I really felt bad about that. So maybe we could just clear the air. So they did decide to clear the air. What? She gonna say, oh, I really love this olive oil. This is the olive oil that my husband uses to cook. Baby, Shamia was like, girl, please don't cook with this oil. Do you not see the tree sticking out of the olive oil? You was going to take that back to Charles and tell him to cook with it? You wanted him to saute them Brussels sprouts in that olive oil that literally had a tree sticking out of it? Man, what is wrong with you? It literally had a branch sticking out of the bottle. You can't recycle that. You just wasted that $12 bottle of olive oil, because I know how much that olive oil costs, because I buy that olive oil. You just wasted it. Let it be. Let it go. I was like, huh? Why you not supposed to cook with olive oil? I cook with olive oil all the time. Tell me why, little baby. I cook with olive oil all the time. What an inexpensive yet right, and that's the other thing too. We know that Shamia had the money to go out and do whatever it was that she may have wanted to do, but I thought that was very personable. You know, clearly it was something she put some thought into. I like that too. I can agree with that, Cahoots, because we know. Not pray over it and use it to anoint. Shut up, y'all. Hey, boo, how you doing? Yeah, little baby, you need to tell all of us, because all of us say we use it to cook. So all of us, you need to tell us. It has a low smoke point, so it can burn and become bitter. Oh, girl, I thought you was going to say it's something wrong for my health or something. Child, I use olive oil all the time. I ain't never had no problems. That's a healthy oil without. Yeah, I thought olive oil was better to cook with. I thought you was going to say that you. I don't know. I thought you was going to say something that was going to hurt my health, child, because it has a burn, child. I ain't never found it to be bitter. You just gotta. Yeah, you definitely gotta pay more attention to it. It does, get hot faster. But anyway, moving right along. Yeah, and y'all know I ain't no chef, so I was about to be like, damn, for real? Then shady ass Kelly want to bring up the fact that everybody didn't buy some. Well, first she said that Drew bought a +1 to the Balenciaga. I mean, I want to keep saying Balenciaga when it was Balmain. To the Balmain event. And she said, then he didn't even buy anything. So then Kenya was like, well, did everybody buy something? And Kelly was like, no. And Kenya was like, well, tell us, girl, who didn't buy something? And she gonna turn and look at Drew. Drew was like, whoa, wait a minute. Hold up. I bought something. And she actually showed where she purchased a blazer for her son. Now, I know Drew be lying, but I believe Drew on this one. I do believe Drew purchased a jacket. I don't believe Drew didn't buy nothing. Now, I know Drew be lying, but I'm going to go with Drew on this one, y'all. I just think Kelly was being shady. I think she said, well, if you bought something, why didn't I get the transaction? So I guess because it was a 10%, she would have gotten a copy of the transaction. But I know to be a fact that sometimes things just fall by the wayside or whatever. I don't think she lied. Now, I could be wrong. I mean, it is Drew. But I don't think Drew lied about buying a blazer. Because she said she bought a $2,000 blazer for her son. She could have just as easily just bought like some $150, $200 cologne. She could have bought, she might have bought it with Ralph's credit card so it wouldn't have her name on it. You know what I'm saying? Her sister might have bought it so it didn't have her name on it. But I don't believe that Drew didn't purchase something. Because if it was a money issue, I'm sure there was things in there cheaper than $2,000 that she could have bought. She could have bought a pair of sunglasses, a couple of $100. She could have bought I never shopped at Balmain, so I don't know what their prices look like, but I'm sure it was something in there less than $2,000. That's just my opinion. Kelly was reaching. Yeah, I do think, yeah. Really, you have the date wrong for this panel. You got it set for April 1st. Oh, shit. Okay, thank you. I'll change it. Thank you. Yeah. So anyway, then they decide, they got to play a shady game. So they're going to ask questions. You can ask anybody a question, and they have to answer it. But it's anonymous who asked the question, right? Really be reviews off topic, working on a teacher project. Watch out. Shay, I will check it before we get off of here. Remind me, because we're almost done. So I'll check it, because I actually did mean to check it today, because I know I've been watching videos and letting videos play, and other people said they have it. So actually, I'll check that in a minute. To be fair, the game was fun. I I thought the game was cute. It really wasn't one of their normal shady games. It actually was cute. One of the questions was, Shamia, what did you give your husband for buying you that Rolls Royce? And I mean, the answer was obvious. I think that would have been what most of us would have given our significant other if they had bought us a brand new Rolls Royce for our birthday. I think, back knees would have been so. Back knees and mouth would have been so. Tied and so. Just tied and so. Okay. Somebody asked Kenya what color underwear she was wearing. I think Kenya wasn't wearing any. She lifted up her skirt. The camera looked away, and then the ladies proceeded to have a conversation on Kenya's hoo-ha. Okay, so I feel like they had to have seen it. Then they asked, there was another question, I think. Oh, they asked Angela about her husband. And while Porsha talking about I heard about Charles, but I ain't gonna say nothing. Well, girl, if you're not gonna say nothing, don't bring it up. Porsha, if you're not gonna say nothing, then girl, don't bring it up. Talking about something. I heard about Charles, but I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna bring it up. Oh, I can't stand when people do that. Shit. Shamia is Candy 2.0 with all the sex talk. I will, like, the first episode, Shamia kind of turned me off with all that talk. But honestly, with this question, there really was no other answer. Because if you say anything other than that, thank you, y'all. Why are you so worried about happily married men? And Kenya was like, because I'm nosy. Like, again, I love how Kenya just didn't take the bait. She was like, because I'm nosy. That DC accent came out all the way. What did I say? Because y'all know I can't hear it. So what did I say? That my DC accent came out. What I say? Anyway. Shamia is me and my friend. And I agree. I think that when you're with your friends and y'all are just talking, like, that is how the conversations go. Like, that's real girl talk. Oh, I hate when people do. For real, I didn't even hear it. But I mean, honestly, it is. It really is girl talk. And honestly, if you had a friend, girlfriend, close friend, whatever, and their husband bought them, child, if their husband had bought them a brand new, BMW, a brand new Mercedes, a brand new, Honda Accord, that's how they would have thanked them. Let's just call a thing a thing. What up, KK? Off topic, but are we supposed to care that Porsha is back with them? When did they say that? Is that in the blogs or something? Work in progress? When did they say Porsha back with Dennis? I missed it. Shit. Is that in the blogs? Is that in the blogs? Did I miss that? Oh. Right. So then the question that got everything set off was, Kenya, can you speak to Britt kindly? And then Britt going to say, I didn't say that. Promise I wasn't me. I promised that wasn't me. Girl, who the fuck else would care? Kelly don't even care that much because Kelly felt like you putting 20 on 10 because after she sat down and had a conversation with Kenya, she felt like you doing too much. So, girl, nobody would care that much. Nobody would care that much. So Kenya was like, I can speak to everybody nicely. But that wasn't the question. The question was, can you speak to Britt nicely? Kenya was like, I can speak to everybody nicely. But you're not going to answer the question. And you can tell that this went on for a long time. Because, baby, they had time to get up from the table. They had time for Angela to pass out their parting gifts. She was chasing them down the hall with the wine. Brittany. Kenya got up and was leaving. Like, it was a whole situation, and Britt kept going. And everybody, including Kelly, was like, girl, you're doing too much. So then she starts talking about, and I'm going to call my husband to come and get me because my husband, like, girl, I know you don't think Kenya is feeling no kind of way about the fact that you got a husband. I know you don't think Kenya is feeling some kind of way that you got a husband. Girl, bye. Because we all know that Kenya wasn't, let me not say that. I'm going to leave Mark where the hell he at. He's somewhere worried about getting evicted from his house. That's where he is. He's somewhere over there worried about getting evicted. Let him be over there. So then she starts talking about having a pow or getting her pow. And I'm like, tomorrow, because Kenya said something about the queen doesn't speak to the peasants. But my thing is, Kenya said that after you kept going and going and going and going and going and going. Like at that point, yeah, she really threw a jab at you. The queen doesn't speak to the peasants. Because girl, you was acting like a peasant. At that point, you was acting like a peasant. You was acting like you was really pressed for Kenya's attention. So she finally gave it to her, right? She's now she on her phone and she's steadily talking about how Kenya and nobody gonna disrespect me. Nobody disrespecting me like that. What's she talking about calling me a peasant? What she mean? I'm a peasant. What's that supposed to mean? Who the fuck she thinks she talking to? Fuck that bitch. Now all of a sudden, now it's 20 on 10. But girl, you started it. And you started over some stupid shit. She answered your question. Just because she didn't give you the answer you wanted, she answered the question. Like she answered the question, girl. And Kenya must have been, she must have been asking, waiting for a car. Like, I guess she had an Uber coming or production was sending a car because she was like, well, my car's not here yet. But she was standing out there. And to Kenya's credit, she didn't respond. She didn't take the bait. She didn't respond to nothing that Britt was doing. But even Kelly went over and told Britt, girl, you're doing too fucking much. Like, they caught her on the mic saying, you're doing too fucking much. So finally, Porsha was like, girl, get in the car. Like, I'll take you where you going. Like, where you go, I'll take you there. So her, Shamia, and Porsha rolled off together. And Britt is still in that damn parking lot mad and cussing and fussing. So once again, I say, I don't agree. If Kenya did what they said Kenya did, I don't agree. But I certainly understand. I certainly understand. Remember, Britt said, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I don't remember everything that went back and forth when this allegedly happened, because that was back in June. So I honestly don't remember all of the back and forth, but I do remember, now that you say that, I think I do remember something about a weapon and Britt saying she never said she had a weapon. Well, they clearly have her on camera saying she had a pow. They clearly have her on camera talking about a pow. So if she said she didn't have a weapon, it's a lie. She told it. It's a lie. She told it. All right, y'all. It's 200 of y'all in here. If y'all could do me a favor, I know some of y'all are coming over from Scotty's house. Thank y'all for coming. If y'all could do me a favor, if you are new here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you have not done so already, if you could please hit that like button, I appreciate you. I would appreciate all of you guys for that. I will change the date, but don't forget the Whether You Like It or Not panel will be right here tomorrow at 8:30-ish. Right here tomorrow at 8:30-ish. And I'm sure we got some things to talk about. Because baby. Okay. What? I'm sorry. Child, I'm sorry. Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm sorry, y'all. I just saw something. I'm gonna have to go look at it when I get off of here, Chad. I just saw something. Hold on, I'm checking the watch hours now. Before we get off here, we're gonna check the watch hours on the teacher project. Hold on. All right, let me see what the watch hours are looking like. Okay, we got 16:07 watch hours. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. We have we have 1607 watch hours. We need to get to 4,000. So keep watching. If y'all are watching, thank y'all. Keep watching. I think when I go to bed tonight, I'll let my playlist play. Me and my friends went to the vault that night and walked in while Kenya and Porsha was doing outside. I didn't know it then, but Britt was the one doing all that yelling. Oh, that was you? Oh, Zaria. Oh my. So is that like a nice restaurant, the vault? I understand Kenya's Irie too, but she used a sledgehammer when a fly swatter would do. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I just feel like I said, I understand, but it still doesn't make it right. But I do understand. And production says she never said it. Well, we clearly heard it tonight. If production said it, then production is a lie. Because we clearly heard it tonight. Unless that, well, no. We heard it, child. We heard it. All right, y'all. I'm about to get off of here. We'll do Married. I'm off tomorrow, so we'll do Married to Medicine. I'm thinking like 1:00. So I think I'm gonna schedule it for 1:30. So we'll do Married to Medicine tomorrow. Okay. All right, y'all. Wait a minute. You said it was decent. It's like a literal vault for the door, and the food was pretty good. Okay. I might have to check it out one time. When I go down to Atlanta one time, I might have to put that on the list. Trying to find restaurants to eat in trying to get restaurants in Atlanta is a whole lot. Atlanta is extra to just go and have something to eat. Child. Can you find out what happened to Jenna Grimes? Who is that? Andrew, what are you talking about? Do they have anything to do with Real Housewives of Atlanta? Who is that? Jenna Grimes. I don't even know who that is. Yeah, Brent said it. She definitely said something about a pow pow. If Britt was doing all of this and it made it to camera, I can believe Britt was doing the other stuff we didn't see because they were limiting Kenya's scenes. I know it doesn't. It's for any upcoming show. But I mean, I don't even know. Like, you just drop out of nowhere talking about something. I don't know who that. I don't even know what that is. Is it a show? Like, I don't even know what that is. Girl, tell me who it is on my Instagram. I don't even know who that is. You just dropped down. We talking about Kenya. We're talking about Kenya and Brittany. I don't know who Jenna is. Anyway, do you watch Watson? I've recorded it. I have not watched it yet. I have been recording it though. One day I'll probably sit down and just watch like 4 or 5 episodes. But I haven't. I do have it in my DVR. Hopefully Kenya will be vindicated. Well, I guess it depends on what your definition of vindicated is, Christopher. Because when you say vindicated, you mean what? Like that she didn't do what they said she did? Okay, boo. All right, Andrew. Just hit me up because I still don't know who that is. Just hit me up on Instagram. When you say vindicated, I guess, like I said, it depends on what you mean, because vindicated like they lying on her, like Kenya didn't do what they said she did. Watson looks like House. I haven't watched it yet either. Yeah, if it's getting into a whole lot of like gruesome medical things, I probably won't watch it. Like, I want to support it, so that's why I've been like recording it. That's why I've been like recording it or whatever. But that her actions were granted. See, if Kenya did what they said she did, I still don't think there's a defense for that. I don't think it was a defense for her to do what if she did what they said she did. I still don't think that she's vindicated. However, it doesn't look like she was just picking on Britt for no reason. She wasn't just hazing Britt. Like Britt tried to make it seem like, oh, Kenya was hazing me. No. Girl, you came for Kenya. But again, if she did what they said she did, I still don't think there's a defense for that. I still think Kenya was wrong for doing what she did. Yeah. But that's my opinion. That's my opinion. All right, y'all. I'm about to get up off of here. I will talk to y'all later. Mwah. Peace.